Lechu lechu neranena neranena ladonai navia navia litzoi sheinu. Lechu lechu neranena neranena ladonai navia navia litzoi sheinu. Nekad mafana betada mizranarialo. Nekad mafana betada mizranarialo. Nekad mafana betada mizranarialo. Nekad mafana betada mizranarialo. Lechu lechu neranena neranena ladonai navia navia litzoi sheinu. Lechu lechu neranena neranena ladonai navia navia litzoi sheinu.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm so glad you are with us this evening as we welcome one another, as we welcome Shabbat. If you have your copy of the congregation's prayer book, I would invite you to grab it now or to open the flip book version if you would like to pray along from your home as we continue in song.
הנה מה טוב ומנעים שברחים גם יחד. 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 הנה מה טוב ומנעים שברחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom to the Weisbergs and the Markowitzes, the Lockett-Schwartz family. I'm so glad that you are joining us. And Shabbat Shalom to all of you who are joining us on Facebook Live or on YouTube for Temple Emmanuel's Friday night service. We're so blessed to be together even in this virtual space, and we begin on page 2 as we kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של Shabbat.
We continue our welcoming as we greet one another, as we greet the Sabbath herself to celebrate, to pray with us this day. Words of Lecha Dodi found on page 20.
Lecha lecha dodi likat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad Hishmi'anu el hamichad Adonai echad u'shemo echad L'shem u'tiferet v'lit hilal la 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 lecha dodi likat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha ki mekor habracha merosh mikerem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machashvat tchila la 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 lecha dodi likat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri ki va'orech kumi ori uri shir taveri kavod nai alaich nigla la 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 lecha dodi likat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom atzeret bala גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני סגולה, בריחה לה, בריחה לה לה Dodi, Nigad Nikadka, Pene Pene Shabbat Nikabela, Lecha Dodi, Nigad Nikadka, Pene Pene Shabbat Nikabela.
We continue our greeting, welcoming the Barnett family and the Devorans, Bonnie Lieberman, Alan, and Irene. It is so great to have you joining us for our Shabbat evening service, as well as everyone who is tuning in from the comfort of your own home. We continue our greeting and our welcoming with words of Shalom Aleichem, found on page 24 in our Siddur. We're adding 18 if you're using the search feature on Flipbook.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seidchem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
It is such a pleasure to have you with us as we continue with our Shabbat evening service. Whether you are in Florida or California, whether you are in Mount Lebanon or Upper St. Clair or Scott or Peters, whether you're in the Northeast, we wish you a Shabbat Shalom as we turn to page 26. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah Ve'almad yivrachu tevyamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon u'chayedecho Beit Yisrael Bagala Bagala uvizman kariv v'yimeru Amen Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach Le'olam le'amaya Yiparach v'yishabach v'yipar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei chudashah B'richu le'la mincho birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Damiran be'alma v'yimeru.
Amen.
On page 28, our Baruch Hu praise, our call to worship, you'll notice that Rabbi Emily and I will remain seated mainly so that our heads don't rise above the level of the camera. We invite you to rise if you wish, or to rise in spirit as we join in prayer.
Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Continue with a reading from Rabbi Shai Held. Vulnerability is a double-edged sword. It can expand the circle of our concern to include others who are vulnerable too, but it can also lead us to tighten the circle around ourselves and ignore or forget everyone but those closest to us. When we are reminded of just how vulnerable we are, the ultimate moral test is not whether we hold our loved ones close, but whether we remember others, especially those without loved ones, to hold them close. The challenge of the moment is to let our shared vulnerability open our hearts to one another. Acknowledging our vulnerability enables us to move from pity to compassion. Pity is driven by a sense of superiority. What happened to you could never happen to me. But compassion is animated by a sense of shared humanity. What happened to you could happen to any of us. Whereas pity is vertical, compassion is horizontal. In showing another person compassion, I reach across to them rather than looking down at them. It's a lesson that we take from our Passover Seder. We were each strangers in the land of Egypt and thus have a responsibility to one another as well as to our God. The watchwords of our faith, Shema Yisrael, can be found in your prayer books on page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed, Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, B'chol levacha, v'chol nafshecha, v'chol me'atecha, v'hayu advarim ha'elem, asher anochi metzavecha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shitecha v'leitecha, uv'laktecha v'derech, uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
On page 40, our Michamocha prays that our ancestors sang not at the conclusion of their making it to the promised land, but at the conclusion of their exodus, the midway point in our story. We continue on page 40.
Yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 ya la 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 la, yai la 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 ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha b'yadim Adonai, mi kamocha nehra b'kodesh, nora tehila rosei felet, nora tehila rosei felet. מלכותך ובניך, בוקר לפני משה ומרים, זדיענו ואמרו, זדיענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 ya la 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 la, yai la 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 ya la 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 la.
Continue on page 42 with words of Hashkivenu.
Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me make each day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Ufrosalenu suka Shalom Aleinu ve'al amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai Amarei Suchat Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom to everyone who is joining us this evening, those who are watching on YouTube Live, the Altshuls and the Schwartzes and the Udrins. We're so glad to have you with us, as well as everyone who is joining us in prayer from the comfort of your own homes, the place where we can keep ourselves and others safe. Words of Vishamru remind us of the importance of Shabbat, even now, especially now in our lives, and can be found on page 44 in our prayer books.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם לדורם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם לדורם. ביני ובין בני ישראל עוד היא לעולם, עוד היא לעולם, עוד היא לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם לדורם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם לדורם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם לדורם. Thought has blown the marketplace away. There's a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity honors a day. Eternity honors a day. Adonai Svatai Tiftoch, Ufti Agita Hilatecha. Adonai Svatai Tiftoch, Ufti Agita Hilatecha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chasevot V'Imahot V'Mevii Geula Livnei Bneihem L'ma'an Shema Ve'ahava Melech Ozer Moshiach Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע.
משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם,
מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בגבורות, ומדום מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצניח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, קדושים בכל יום יעלוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
If you've ever wondered what it's like to be in the home of two rabbis, and you wonder if we disagree all the time about Jewish principles, it happens, and you may have just noticed it happen. If you're paying close attention, Emily and I disagreed in our understanding of when we make the shift from Mashiv Haruach Umorid Hagashem, the prayers we say for rain in the winter time, to Morid Hatal, the prayer we say in the summertime. To my point, I would point out that it snowed today and it feels like wintertime. To her point, we make that transition at some point during Passover. Consider it a scavenger hunt. You're clearly already used to the use of technology on Shabbat. Google that real fast. Does one make that transition at the beginning of Passover or at the very end?
Or is it on the very second day of Passover? Who knows who's right?
I think we'd be very interested to find out as we continue with words of Shalom Rav, asking for peace not only in the world but in our own home as well.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה משלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
May the one who makes peace in the high heavens
make peace for all Israel and all who inhabit the earth.
Don't stop after beating the swords into plowshares. Don't stop.
Go on beating and make musical instruments out of them.
Whoever wants to make war again will have to turn them into plowshares first.
We continue with a Misha Berach prayer, our prayer for those who are ill. There are too many in this world in need of God's healing presence and humanity's healing touch. We ask for prayers for all of them as we continue on page 253.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mikor Bracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu Bekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Mi kamocha va'elim Adonai, our ancient ancestors were said to have proclaimed on the opposite shore of the Sea of Reeds, "Who is like you, God? You're amazing. If you had taken us out of Egypt, if you had delivered judgments against Pharaoh." A little bit of a technology snafu. If you had split the sea, if you had led us through on dry ground, Dainu, it would have been enough. Norah tehilot osefela, awesome in practice, worker of wonders, they sang out. Moses and all of the Israelites sang their greatest song of praise, a song we still sing thousands of years later, not at the end of their journey, but in its middle. They still had 40 years of wandering around the desert to go. They were still going to lose many people from their midst. And still they exclaimed this expression of gratitude. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Blessed are you, God, Redeemer of Israel. These words, this prayer, resonates with me after a very long week. Passover Seder was hard. As we said the words, "Let all who are hungry come and eat," while we were shutting the doors on our very own families for our safety and for theirs. Thursday morning was hard as we woke up to the news that Governor Wolf wisely ordered schools to remain closed through the remainder of the academic year. Every morning is hard as we wake up in a perpetual Groundhog Day, wondering what day it even is, let alone how we're going to make meaning with it. Yet, we also receive some good news. The dire predictions for the loss of life are being adjusted downward as societal distancing shows its efficacy. The curve is being flattened in Italy, in California, in New York, as our collective actions take effect. We are saving lives. Dainu, this alone is sufficient. And so, we breathe, we sing, we continue to express gratitude for those in our lives who are fighting this fight, the angels in PPE and the essential frontline staff in grocery stores and pharmacies. Like the ancient Israelites, we express this gratitude not at the end of the journey, but in its middle. We still have some time wandering through the desert to go, no doubt, but that need not consume us. We can still find meaning in each day. We can still make each day count. And count we do. In Jewish tradition, we number the days between Passover and the holiday of Shavuot, between the exodus from Egypt and the giving of Torah at Sinai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvot hav, v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer, hayom shnei yamim la'omer. Today is the second day of the Omer. It has become tradition to study some of the wisdom literature of our tradition, Pirkei Avot, during this time of counting. Each day, as part of our daily email and on Facebook, we'll post a small section, just one phrase from Pirkei Avot, to inspire us to think about who we are and who we want to be. It's not an easy time. There are many dark days ahead. Yet how we respond, what we do with this vulnerability, is up to us. Compassion, not pity, Rabbi Held taught us. Gratitude, not feeling overwhelmed. Making each day count. Then it will truly be sufficient. Dayenu. We turn back in our text to words of Aleinu L'Shabech, found on page 282, or adding 18 if you're using the flipbook version.
Aleinu L'Shabech L'Adon HaKol, L'Atet Gdula L'Yotzer Breshit, Shelo Asanu K'grei Haratzot, V'lo Samanu K'mishpachot Hadama, Shelo Samchokeinu Kahem, V'gorelenu K'chol Hamonam, V'anachnu Korim, U'mishtachavim U'modim, Lifnei Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz. Bayom ha'hu yihye Adonai echad. U'shemo echad.
Our thoughts now turn to those of our loved ones, those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity, those who have been removed from our midst before their time, and those after a fullness of life. We think of Edward Grupp and Rick Matthews, two who have passed away in recent days, as well as those whose yahrzeit, the commemoration of their passing, occurs this Shabbat. Dave Abramowitz, Bernard Baskin, Ruth Lebowitz Bernstein, Rosalie Bond, Molly Wise Bukareski, Madeline Hirsch Katayo, Ruth Diamond, William Diskin, Marshall Feldman, Eli Friedman, Carol Herman, Dora B. Jacobson, Stanley Callender, Fred Landay, Maurice Levine, Jules R. Levcoy, Harry Lewis, Sarah Liebenson, Bernice Ida Meyers, William Mills, Rose Mines, Samuel C. Mines, Selma Moydell, Tibby Morris, Nancy Ohl, Alexander Peitgoff, Sadie Diskin Resnick, Jean Rosenberg, Sophie Rosenberg, Henrietta Rothis, Saul Sarvansky, Banky H. Scott, Emmanuel Small, Sophia Segai, Rhodey S. Verk, and Esther Weissman. If there are others you are remembering on this Shabbat, or if I have inadvertently mispronounced the name of your loved one, I would invite you to say their name aloud, even if you are alone in the comfort of your home, that by sharing their name, we recall their many memories that continue to be for us an everlasting blessing. Zichronam livracha. We continue on page 294. Yikadal v'kadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach, ve'olam l'amei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithalev v'yithalal shemei d'kusha b'richu, Leila mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran ve'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who makes peace in the highest of heavens make peace for us and for all who mourn, as together we say, Amen. words that have been on my mind and on my lips since our virtual second night Seder last night, a setting that Tim Brogdon taught us of Eliyahu Hanavi, our prayer for the end of this journey to come soon.
Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu Hagiladi. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Bimera Yavo Elenu Mashiach ben David, Bimera Yavo Elenu Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Bimera Yavo Elenu Mashiach ben David, Bimera Yavo Elenu Mashiach ben David.
Shabbat Shalom from Emily and I, from your entire Temple Emmanuel family, Rabbi Jessica Lockitz and Iris Harlan, Leslie Hoffman, and our wonderful staff. We wish you and yours a Shabbat Shalom, a Shabbat of rest, a Shabbat of compassion, a Shabbat of making each and every day count.